Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are listening to me. Welcome to another episode of Wealth Building Conference. My name is Oludare Fasola. Tonight, we're going to be looking at how to build profitable income. How to build profitable income. So many of us are running business, but uh, you are running a business, but the business is not kind of profitable. It's not really giving you the income you really deserve. So it's it has a problem, bro. So I'm going to dissect how to fix that problem tonight. So wherever you are joining me, just as the normal way of welcoming ourselves, please type in the comment section where you are joining from and your name, where you are joining from and your name. And again, if you know anybody who is actually into sales, like who is struggling to build a profitable business, build a profitable income, please let them join these sessions today. It's going to be amazing, mind-blowing. The information I'll be sharing is going to also be a practical strategies that I've adopted, that I've used to grow my business. So it's not like this is not a theory, it's a practical, right? So let them join. Of course, if you know anybody in sales who is struggling to build business or is kind of looking at it like this is not for me, let them join these sessions today. I promise you, you will have value for your time. All right. Before we also go in, I also want to let you know that this is going to be engaging. So if you have any question, type it on the comment section. I will attend to your question immediately after the program. So let's quickly dive in. Let's look at how to build profitable income in 2026. How to build profitable income in 2026. The rule has changed. All right, your strategy must too. Like I remember when I started my business back in 2021, right? I'm a licensed insurance agent. Then we used to do cold calling. Like I remember my first six figures in 5 months. I make my six figures in 5 months by cold calling people, asking them, invite them to come and join the appointment. And then 7 months, I make my $200,000 in one year, which is 12 months. I make my $500,000. Yes, all of these is, just using the old way of doing the business, call calling, invite people to come and do the business. But 2 years later, the whole thing changed, right? There is a total shift the way we used to do the business from the way it used to be. So, I remember I went for conventions and I begin to look at myself like, what's going on? Like, things are not really moving. I can see. And some of us today, when things happen in your business, when things are not moving, you should be able to sit back, review, and see what's not moving. If there's anything you need to change. But a lot of us will say, no, this is the way we have been doing it, and this is the way we're going to continue to do it, and we're not going to change. So, this is what I want to share with you today, that hard work is no longer enough. Now, if you depend on hard work in this life, in this business, I'm not talking about insurance business alone. I'm talking about all the businesses, right? If you are running business and you rely on hard work, it might lead to burnout. Okay. Hard work is no longer enough. Direction beats effort. Like, if your business don't have direction, right? I don't care how much you are making right now. If you don't have direction, meaning that you don't have a system in place that will show you how to run a profitable business, you are still running on a treadmill. The landscape has shifted. Success in 2026 requires more than dedication. It demands strategic positioning and adaptability. uh Back last year, I decided to rebrand, reposition my business. And you know what? This is a game changer for me, right? I do a total rebranding, positioning, and niche down. And guess what? That give me more clarity. Even the client I'm about to serve, they also have clarity of what I actually want to do. So if you are still looking like, oh, I need to like serve everybody, if you are in a business, right, you need to define who is my ideal client, right? What problem do they have? How can I come up intentionally, strategically to solve that problem? If you don't have that in place in 2026, you are still not in the business. So 2026 is not friendly to the unprepared. Like many of us, we prepare a plan for the year, but I realized that so many people prepare, right? But they have a plan. They prepare their goal. But how many people really stick to that plan? How many people really stick to that goal, right? Look at it. Traditional salaries increases no longer keep pace with rising costs. Right now, I know many of us, it's not like this is not a news again. Everybody knows that there is serious rise in the cost of goods and services across the world, not only in Canada, in the States, United Kingdom, in Africa. The rate at which prices are really going up is massive, right? So if you rely solely on salary, sincerely speaking, you might really struggle. AI replaces average. Automation eliminates routine skills and commodities, commoditized, commoditized work. Now, last like early this week, right? The federal government of Canada rolled out a lot of, you know, letters to lay off people, right? It's as a result of they want to cut down the uh, expenses, expenses on salaries and other overhead. They want to make sure that they automate some of the works that ordinarily they don't really need anybody to come and do that. So think about it. The AI is fast replacing human work right now. A lot of people will lose their job in 2026, while some people also get, they will also get more 2026. The reason is because if you don't update your skills, if you don't really uh, sit down and understand that I need to have a skill, I need to learn a skill, and I need to use that skill, all right, to make more money, you are still not ready to build a profitable income in 2026. Debt punishes delay. Financial procrastinations compound into crisis. Now, uh, debt is one of the biggest problem in this country. I remember when I came to this country in 2017, I have a lot of debt as a result of lack of financial education. And the more you allow this debt to keep longer, that the interest keep compounding. And I've seen so many people today, they declare bankruptcy, they file consumer proposal just because they cannot really pay their debt. So if you are owing and you don't have a plan in place to quickly pay off that debt, it's going to be very difficult for you to build a profitable business in 2026. Your stability is no longer guaranteed in any industry. If you agree with me, I want you to type on the comment section, I agree. Many people, if the federal government can lay off people, right, how much more private companies, right? I've seen Google, Facebook, uh, so many big companies in the world, they are laying off people. Why? Because they are looking for how they can really increase their income, why they reduces their expenditure, why they are reduces cost on running the company, like the salary, other ways to make sure that they still profitable. They have to make sure that they adopt so many strategies to keep their business running. And you know what? The truth of the matter is that salary, your job, is not guaranteed. The old paths are crowded, the new paths are invisible. This is the new income rules. If you want to build a profitable business in 2026, this is the rule you must actually adopt in your business. Master a valuable skill, market demand capability. So, one of my mentors, right, said that we are born equal, right? But when it comes to bringing value to the marketplace, we are not equal, right? Your value, you can bring market to the market, you can bring value to the marketplace if you yourself has a skill to showcase to the marketplace. So how many of us in 2026 are really ready to learn the skills, or even your skills. Are you really sharpening your skills? Many of us are still relying on old rules. If you are relying on that, you cannot build a profitable business. It's going to be difficult for you to do that. Build on system that amplify your reach. Now, let's look at it, right? I said it earlier that I used to do cold calling, but if I rely on cold calling right now, how many people do you think I can reach if I started calling people, reach out to people and all of that? I may not be able to reach as many people as possible, but I have a system in place that give me an opportunity to reach thousands, millions of people, right? I run ads, do podcasts, content and all of that. These are some of the things that you need to put in place to really, really scale your business, right? Create repeatable processes over endless effort. Now, there are some things in my business that I don't need to be manually go and do every time. I put it like, I set it up once and it continues to repeat itself. So if you want to build a profitable business in 2026, you must adopt these strategies. Make sure that you have a repeatable business, because why? Think about it. By the time, how many times, for example, you go to the system and begin to put, strategies or system in place. For example, in my own case right now, for policy review, for example, I've automated that, right? Anytime my clients want to have a policy review, I automate it. The client get an email, I jump on the call, we review the policy with them, and this will make my job much easier. Example of that again is follow up on leads, right? If I run ad, the leads come to my to my CRM. I've created a system that will continuously automate it in such a way that it's going to follow up on the leads. These are some of the things you can do in 2026 that will make you to run a profitable business. Multiply through people, technology, and capital. Now, if you don't have people to leverage on, if you don't have a team that you can delegate, you cannot do it yourself, right? You have to leverage on technology, all right? And you have to also leverage on capital. All this will help you to build a profitable business in 2026. These are the three income lists. Number one, you earn active income through skill-based work. Like, if your business still dependent on you for it to run, you are not really building something that will outlast you. As a matter of fact, a business that is easy to sell is a business that can run without the owner being in that business. For example, you put up a business and you have to go into that business for that business to run. You cannot really scale. You cannot build a profitable business. Now, the first thing is that you must have an active, true skill-based work. Like, for example, in our own case right now, there's what we call active income and passive income. Active income means that if you're a licensed insurance agent, you sell insurance, investment, and help people to put up a plan, you earn that. But when you go further to recruit people, train them, mentor them, that will also give you another form of income, which is passive income. Systems and teams that multiply output. You have to leverage on system. You have to leverage on your team, right? See, you cannot do everything yourself. Make sure that if you want to build a profitable income, if you want to build a profitable business, you must have a team, have time to train them so that some of the tasks that you can't do yourself, you can, delegate it to your team. And the last one, multiply asset and ownership that compound. Now, when you put up a system, all right, and you earn, you scale, then you begin to multiply. And the more you repeat this, the more it actually keep multiplying. Workers earn, builder skills, owners multiply. So if you are not adopting these strategies, it's going to be very difficult for you to build a profitable business in 2026. This is the skill shift, right? In 2026, profitable skills are number one, sales and communication. Persuade, influence, and close this effectively. One of the important skills that you must have as an individual, as a business owner, is ability to sell. There are two people that exist in the world: people that buy and people that sell. Guess what? I've seen so many people when I introduce them to the business. Oh, I don't know how to sell. I don't know how to convince people. And I do say this, right? We are not convincing people. We are educating people, right? So even if you don't know how, right, sit down, Okay. Once you are coachable, if you are coachable, and you are ready to learn, this skill is easier for you to learn because we have a system in place that will give you, that will show you, that will make you to be that person that have the sales skills and communicate effectively to close a deal. Number two, understand money metrics and market dynamics. One of the important skills of an financial intelligence, right? We don't teach money in the university. And you agree with me that many of us go to university for the past 4 years, even those of us that have a master's in accounting, finance, they don't teach us money. What they will teach you is something that you know it's not like practically will not really give you an opportunity to be an entrepreneur, right? So how do you do that? How do you learn financial intelligence? You need to sit down, understand how money works, right? And get a mentor that will show you how money works, how you can understand the metrics and market dynamic, right? Digital distribution, reach audience through online platform. uh, I said it in the beginning of my presentation that when I started in 2021, right, in the first 2 years of the business, I remember my first 12 months I make $500,000. The second month, I make second year, I make 600,000. But the third year, things change drastically. So the old way that I used to do the business, it's kind of difficult for me to scale. So I actually have to come back to digital distributions. I started running ad, using, putting up content on social medias and all of that. And that's what really, really make my business to have a total shift and start scaling. And right now, not only me, making six figures consecutively every year, I also train people. I train my team doing the same thing. I have a lot of advisors across Canada, mentoring them, showing them the smart way of running their business profitably. Inspire teams and drive collective results. Like I said earlier, now my goal, right, is to develop leaders. My goal is to show this to immigrants who are tired, like they have been locked up in 9 to 5. I've seen a lot of people, they're still in 9 to 5. We want to see how can we bring as many people as possible from 9 to 5 to become financially free, right? I know for sure that 9 to 5 cannot give you financial freedom. This is the system advantage. High earners don't work harder, they work inside the system, right? Let me tell you this, right? No matter how much you are making today, if you don't have a system in place, you cannot scale. Let me repeat myself. No matter how much money you are making right now, if you don't have a system in place, you cannot run a profitable business. And you know what? Company don't collapse because they don't make money. Company collapse because they don't have a system in place. Because why? If they have a system in place, all right, the problem of not making money, the problem of running into losses, all those things, the system will actually show them, right? Imagine a business that is running on, they're just running the business, no system, no direction, no clarity. It's bound to fail. They might be making money right now, but over time, because they don't have a system to leverage on, the business over time will collapse, right? Income grows when effort becomes repeatable. So this is what I did in my own business, and this is what is, I'm telling you that this works. And if you can adopt this in your business, trust me, get the same result I'm getting. Like I said earlier, I've been making my six figures every single year, right? Every single year, I've not missed that. And not only me, I have teams of advisors that adopt these same strategies that are making the same result, that are getting the same result. Number one, automate system that attract prospect. Like, I have a lead generation system, okay, that once I put it on, right, I do get leads on autopilot, right? Leads coming to my CRM, nurture them, convert them. Number two, nurture relationship without manual effort. As I said earlier, I've automated in such a way that it has a sequence of how the message will be sent to the leads, to the client, like to my prospect, right? Once you come into my CRM, There's a time that you're going to receive the first email, the second email, even if you don't respond before, before we now start calling you, right? So it's a system. So if you don't have such a system in place, you cannot build a profitable business. So, like, how many leads do you want to really, like, start calling? You have about millions of leads in your system. You have 5,000, 6,000 leads, and you want to start manually send email to each and every one of them. You're going to burn out, right? Even if you want to engage somebody to be doing that for you, know how much you're going to pay that person. Scalable knowledge transfer process. So I have a system in place that, you don't really need to come to me. Okay, I have a portal that recorded video is there. You just need to go and watch. I just want to minimize the rate at which I'll be attending to calls, right? Anything that will not move the needle, any activities that will not move the needle in my business. Move the needle means that any activities that will not generate income for me, I really don't have anything to do with it, right? And same for every business owner. Not everything you must attend to. Like, differentiate all the activities, right? Make sure that you know the one that, move the needle. Focus your attention on that, right? And make sure that you train people, right? You transfer your knowledge to other people, because you are not really successful if you don't build people like you. That's it. So you want to make sure that you transfer that knowledge to other people such a way that they can also do the same thing you are doing. Real-time tracking and optimization. How many of us, when you don't track your activities, when you don't understand your numbers, you don't review, you cannot, there is no way you will know whether you are growing or not. So I have a system in place. Every week, every month, you review: how many leads do I get? How many one do I close? How many life do I protected? All these things will keep me on my toes to know if I'm moving or not. This is the leverage play. Okay. Number one, build teams. Delegate and multiply human capacity. Like, seriously speaking, like, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a business owner, this must be the first thing you need to do in your business, right? Build people, right? Because when you build people, you train them, they understand what you are doing. It is easier for you to delegate, because if you cannot do everything. That is the truth. All right. AI and automation. Technology handles repetitive tasks. Now, all the tasks that are repetitive, like I mentioned earlier, I mean, you don't need to, like, not everything you need to attend to. Make sure you automate those kind of activities in order for you to reduce cost. It will also reduce your time. You free a lot of time for you to focus on some other things. Turn expertise into scalable product, right? Now, a lot of us have skills, right? Identify the skills that you have, right? Make sure you turn that skill to expertise. If you know how to talk, why can't you go into coaching? If you know how to sell, it could be anything. It could be digital business. If you know how to write, all these things, they are skills that you can leverage on, and you can use that one, to attract so much money to yourself, right? Collaborate for mutual amplification. So, like, for example, in my business, right, I make sure that I work with accountant, lawyers, um, real estate agent, mortgage. The reason is because I want to make sure that I collaborate with them, such that if I have a client, if they are looking for service in those areas, I'll refer them to those people. And if they also have clients in that area, right, they can refer them to me. This is how to build profitable businesses. This is how to build profitable business that will give you very good income. Try as much as possible. Don't work in isolation, right? Develop, collaborate with people, and let that one actually, build a profitable business. For leverage turns effort into energy. This is the mindset that really changed everything for me, right? Number one, build businesses, not just career. I know for sure, when I came to this country, that 9 to 5 cannot give me financial freedom. I know for sure. But not only build businesses, but I also want to build a business that, even without me being physically present, my business can run. Right? I don't need to be physically present in my business before it runs. So think about it. If you are building business, right, and you don't have a system in place, you cannot still build a business. It's not just about just building career. A lot of people say, oh, I just want to become this, I just want to become that. It's okay, right? Career is good, but you know what? If you don't have something that you can call this is my own, you cannot build a profitable income, right? Own assets that appreciate. Don't buy liability. Many of us are actually, buying liabilities. It's okay, but let me tell you, whatever that will take money out of your pocket, you need to think twice, right? Buy asset, real estate, stocks, bonds, right? Franchising. All this is what you need to think, right? Because income is equal equity, right? So make sure that you look at it. If I buy this, will this appreciate? If it doesn't appreciate, why are you putting your money on something that will not appreciate? These are some of the things you need to do in 2026 that will give you a profitable business. Now, expand capability continuously, right? So once your business, if you really, really want to build a profitable business, you must also be expanding. Like in my own case, right? I know every time, right? I need to bring people into my business, because the more people I bring to the business, the more I expand my business. So it all depends on the kind of business you are doing. But if you are not expanding, you are not growing. So, and for you to build a profitable business, you need to expand your reach. You need to expand your business. So for you to grow, build good, profitable business in 2026, you must think of how to expand. Think generationally. Now, many of us are building businesses, but those businesses can also, cannot sustain more 1, 2 generations, right? After 1, 2 generations, the business is gone. That is not how to build a profitable business. You have to think generationally, right? You have to think that if I pass today, will my business still run? I am building something that I know my family, my children can inherit. What are you building? What are you building? So if you are doing a business and that business, if you pass, that is the end of the business, you have to think twice, right? So 2026 belong to builder, not bystanders. This is the assignment I want to give everyone as we start the 2026. This is the 90-day profit plan. Number one, focus on mastery, not dabbling. See, if you want to build a profitable business, you have to focus on something. Success does not come from focus on so many things. So a lot of us, they want to do digital marketing business, they want to do that business, they want to do the. You cannot build profitable business like that. You have to focus on something. As a matter of fact, successful people focus on something. They will make sure they are very successful. From there, they will not begin to dive into some other thing. You have to focus on something. Like, make sure you pick one thing, right? Focus on that for the next 90 days, and you see how massive your result will be. Two, find distribution channel that amplify. Now, you must learn what are the distribution channels I need to do to grow my business. For example, me, I do run ads on Facebook and on TikTok. Why? Because I know that is what is going to pull the trigger. It all depends on the kind of business you are doing. But I tell you, this approach, this model can be applicable to any business in this world, right? You just need to understand what kind of business am I doing and which platform can I use, to to amplify my distribution channels. So it might not really necessarily be ads alone. Some are using events, some are using collaboration. It all depends on the kind of business you're in, as I said earlier, but you just need to understand what platform can I use to build and amplify my distribution channels. Create a repeatable process, right? Make sure you have a process in place that can auto working without you being there, right? I have a process in place. Like, I don't need to be calling people manually. uh I don't need to, like, follow up on email manually. The system will continue to send even when I'm sleeping. The system is still working. So if you want to build a profitable business, you must have that in place. Multiply through the automation of people. Like, you need to automate, right? Think about it. Any processes that need to automate. In fact, as a matter of fact, 3 days ago, I still sit down and I look at it. Let me see what's other part of my business that can still automate, because the more I automate this, the more it is easier for me to bring as many people as possible on board. If, for example, I bring insurance agent on board, right? Instead of me to be sitting down and be doing orientation for them, why can't I record it and put it in a platform? And once they come in, just go here, go and listen to the orientation from there. This is the income, go feel it. I'm going to get the trigger, we jump on a call. So imagine that. I'm start thinking of how can I automate more of my process, because the more I automate it, the more it free up my time to focus on something that is very much more important. And you know what? It will increase my business like exponentially, right? It will make my business so multiply through automation through people. Okay, we've discussed that. Okay, yeah, multiply through automation or people. Like you can do that through people, you can also do that through system. And the last one is measure what matters. Adjust rapidly. Every time you must have what you call KPI, which is key performance indicator. You must measure that. You must gauge what you are doing. If you review and you're not working, like how many calls do I make in a day, how many business do I close in a day, how many deals do I close in a week, in a month, this will make you to put yourself on the spot. Like you will know whether you are progressing or you are not progressing. What you don't measure, you cannot really account for it. Clarity create momentum. Momentum create money. Many of us, we are not making money, not because uh we are not doing enough, but we don't have we don't have a system that will create momentum. And honestly speaking, momentum will create money. Now, this is 2026 blueprint. Number one, your foundation for market value. Skills create entry. I Many people that for example, like me, I migrated from Africa to Canada. When I was, when I landed here, not because I study insurance in Nigeria, but at least I have something I can build on. Like I'm in the field of finance, so it is easier for me, right, to to quickly look into this. Well, let me leverage on what I'm doing. And again, don't get me wrong, you don't need to have a finance background before you do this business. But the fact that you have a university degree, you can communicate effectively, you can speak, and you can communicate effectively, you can actually build it. That alone is a skill. A lot of us are really like, you are looking for, oh, because I'm not an insurance agent, because I'm not a finance person. No, you don't need to do that. I've seen dentists doing this business and they're very, very successful. I've seen so many people that are doing businesses, they don't even have not even have experience in that area. The thing is this, right? It all depends on your mindset and open to learning. If you are open to learning and you are coachable, there is nothing you cannot do. You already have a skills, like you already have a skill, leverage on that, and that will actually give you the opportunity to build a profitable businesses. Repeatable process multiply output. If you have a system in place, it really, really increases and multiply your output. You know, Leverage create freedom, time independence through multiplication. The more you automate your process, the more you have process in place, the more you free up time to focus on something else, right? An asset that outlive your effort, like create ownership, create legacy. If you don't have, if as long as they don't say this is my own, you still don't you still don't have it, you don't own it, right? Ownership create legacy. So but the question now is that what legacy, what legacy do you want to leave for your children? Don't chase money, don't chase money, build engine that produce it. Stop preparing, start positioning. The future doesn't reward intention, it reward execution. Thank you so much for joining tonight. I really want to appreciate everyone that has joined. If you have any question here, you can just put it in the comment section so that we can actually look into it. Any question, right? It's really nice to have here. I want to appreciate you, Olumuyiwa Adejumo. Thank you so much for joining. Really appreciate you. Olubala Fashola, thank you so much for joining. I really appreciate it. If you have value for tonight's training, can you put it on the comment section? Value. Tomorrow, we're going to be talking about how medical professionals can build tax efficient wealth, how medical professionals can build tax efficient wealth. So if you want to learn on how to attract medical professionals, I will want you to join me tomorrow. I want to let you know that for the past couple of months, last year, I've been attracting medical professional. And you know what? One thing I realize is this, right? If you are intentional and you have a clear message, honestly, you will attract the ideal client. The reason why your client didn't buy from you is because there is no clarity, and a confused buyer will never buy. And you can create confusion in the areas of your brand positioning and your niching. So please, if you have not done that, go back, niche down, ask yourself, who is my ideal client? What are the problem they are having? How can I come up with strategies to solve that problem? Trust me, you will realize that you will get more client than to focus on so many people. Once again, thank you so much for joining. Join me tomorrow as we'll be diving into how medical professionals can build tax efficient wealth. See you. Good night, everyone.